We go full on the brake, full on the gas.
Wait. Wait. Pretensioners came on super tight there. Look, I will say right from the start, this is going to be a longer review than normal because there's so much to convey about this car. This is actually a watershed car. It's an important milestone. Now, when we went to review the Tesla Model 3, you were a little bit reluctant. Can I say you were a bit...
ambivalent is probably would be the right description.
But it impressed you, didn't it?
I was impressed with the Tesla. Yeah, it was certainly a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it drove really well as well. But
would you own one?
No, I didn't really like it.
Because we both know and have loved Porsches for a long time, I think you're predisposed to be very positive about this car.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love Porsches, but you know, it's a quantum leap, isn't it? A Porsche, but an electric Porsche.
Look, we've always said, look, 500 horsepower is all you could possibly want, and this just annihilates that. 5 second 0 to 100 is plenty, more than enough. Even the entry level one of these does 4 seconds flat. Why would you need any more than the Taycan 4S? You could buy a Taycan 4S. It's a no-cost option to have the badge deleted. Everyone will think it's a Turbo S.
They look a little bit different if you know what you're looking at, but they're close.
Do you like it in the blue?
I love the look of the car. I think it's a great looking car. It's probably one of the things that's been a bit of a negative for me for every other electric vehicle that I've ever actually seen. Is I don't like the look of any of them at all, but I really do like the look of this car. But of course, typical Porsche, they've got the styling right. But you know, where are the sales going to come from? They're selling like hotcakes.
Panamera sales have been pretty slow. I think this thing's going to steal all the Panamera's sales. The pricing's very similar. Entry-level Panamera is the same price as the entry-level one of these.
I know a few people who've got GT3s and GT2s, and they've bought these as well.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
This is another car, and these are the early adopters. They want to be in something cool and just experience what the car's all about.
Very soon, the Cross Turismo station wagon version is going to arrive here, and I think it looks even better than the coupe. So who do Porsche think are the competitors? Of course, any other petrol-engined luxury sports saloon is fair game. Porsche would love to pinch sales from other luxury EVs on the market, like the Audi e-tron, Jaguar I-Pace and Merc EQC. But there is one major player they're gunning for. To quote Porsche, the sole core competitor is the Tesla Model S, the performance variant of which is comparable with the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. But fundamentally, the P100D and the Taycan are aimed at different drivers. Tesla targets somebody who wants the car to do everything for them, including the driving. But the Taycan is a car for the driver who actually loves it and wants a super fast luxury saloon that can also keep up in the twisty bits with anything we reviewed on our channel, which it does amazingly well. So all I can say is forget about acceleration. So it's just got silly. These cars are more than fast enough to make you feel sick. Tesla Model S option went up today, $162,000. If people that have gone to spend $162,000 for a P100D Tesla, and they've looked at it and they've seen, and they looked at this and gone, oh wow, this has got more screens than my local RSL club. Yeah. Right, cheapest possible Taycan 4S, sorry, Taycan, not Taycan, Taycan. Drive away price, no options, $210,000. Yeah. Then I went to the cheapest possible Taycan Turbo, which is what this car is, $292,000. This car, $341,378, because it's got $49,000 worth of options in it. There's the list. Look at that. Electric Sport Sound, $1,050. Oh my God, it's the Starship Enterprise. Isn't that funny how Tesla gives you the play box with, you know, arcade games and a fart cushion and all this, but it doesn't have a synthetic sound. But Porsche said, no, synthetic sound is actually important for pedestrians and it's important for you, the driver. I wonder if anybody buys this car without the Porsche special sound.
Will we get rid of that?
No, it's all right. That's what the engineer said to the marketing guy in Zuffenhausen when he first heard it. Was ist das schreckliches Geräusch? Das ist totales unnötig. Sorry, we don't need subtitles.
It's off now.
Okay, we're in quiet mode. Sports chrono, 2,340. Wheels total, 9,600. Panoramic roof, $3,370. Head-up display, how's that look? It's good?
Yeah, you need that.
$3,350. Passenger display, I wouldn't be without that as your navigator, $2,150. Active parking support, $2,000. Traffic jam assist, $1,200. And so on and so on. You get the idea. All up, $49,000 worth of options on this car.
Of course, we don't need a tacho. The whole lot's digital. It's wraparound. I really like this. It reminds you of a 1970s Porsche. So there's a lot of those features that I really do like, and they harken back to the heritage of the brand. I think this thing's going to explode if you keep pushing that many buttons, Stu.
I'm just experimenting with all the things, showing you how many things I can do at once. The music.
But it doesn't have any romantic fires and things. It doesn't
or any arcade games, or
it doesn't have unnecessary tech. Yeah. All the tech in this car does something, it's valuable, and it has an outcome.
Yep. 10 years ago, Tesla came out with Model S. They've kept refining it. They've made it better and better. But this car has moved the goalposts.
The quality of this car, it's Porsche quality. The shut lines on the car are just perfect. The leather's sensational. It's just a quality piece of equipment. You know, yeah, you're paying a lot of money for it. It's a Porsche. That's what you expect, right?
Yep.
You know, speaking to a lot of Tesla drivers that I know, that a lot of these people are looking forward to the day when they don't have to drive a car. Whereas no one is going to buy a Porsche with that attitude. The philosophy is quite different.
That's why they haven't gone for the one-pedal braking like in the Tesla. You lift off and it uses about 60 kilowatts is the maximum it'll do for regenerative braking. In this car they call it recuperative braking, and it's 260 kilowatts.
That's right.
That's a massive amount. That's like almost a full ABS stop worth of, but it happens on the brake pedal.
Yeah.
So you've got to get off the throttle and get on the brake to get the most out of the recuperation. These Taycans have a range of up to 420 kilometres, but that depends on a lot of things. Now the Taycan is really smart in predicting how much range you have left. Over time it learns your driving habits and style, compensates for terrain and current traffic, and gives you an accurate range to empty. To charge this car from flat on a normal power point, just plugged in with a 240 volt lead, is going to take about 3 days. That's not really practical. Porsche reason though, if you're going to spend $341,000 on a car, you won't mind spending $2 or $3 grand to put a proper three-phase thing in your home.
When you buy one of these cars, you get that from Porsche as well, and they'll come and install it in your garage. I really think if anyone is spending that sort of money, then you're going to be doing that. I think most of the Tesla owners we know do that, don't they, Stu?
Yep.
They've got the batteries, they've got the solar panels, and I think most people are going to go that avenue and just charge them at home overnight every night.
Yep. One thing Tesla has done really well is build a network of superchargers around the country for their cars. Now, if you take this car to a Tesla charger, the thing will say, "Nah, you're not a Tesla." Imagine if you went to a petrol station and it had to be a Peugeot petrol station, because you could only run on Peugeot petrol. Yeah. One of the big benefits of owning a Tesla is the way the charging network is integrated into the car. You tell the car where you're going, and it suggests to you where and when you should stop, for how long, what your options are, whether there are people waiting there, and how much charge you'll have by the time you get home. It does all the thinking and planning for you. But let's say you collect your stunning new Taycan and head off straight to your beach house up at Byron or Noosa. No need to run the motor in, off you go, 1,000 kilometres, as you do with the kids. So you need to think about charging. Good news. So the good news is there are plenty of new charging stations popping up all the time for people who don't drive Teslas. You just have to find them. It's not hard, but you do have to plan. The car tells you the range, but you need to figure out where to stop and when to stop and for how long. One of the big benefits that Porsche talks about the Taycan is the 800 volt architecture and how that enables super fast charging, as much as 80% of the battery capacity in about 22 minutes. Incredible. But there are very few chargers yet capable of supplying that power. I have to say that both private companies and the government are rapidly adding ultra-fast charging sites on major routes all around the country for all electric vehicles, which will include both the Taycan and Tesla. Make no mistake, EVs are coming. I know that was a long talk, but it's an important one, because that's the key question you're buying an electric car, range anxiety.
We know with the Porsche battery technology, they've gone a slightly different route with that. The way they've, the cells are all pouched, sitting down a lot lower, packed in a lot tighter in a smaller area than most other EVs. And that really helps the handling and the balance of the car as well. And we say Porsche are a bit late to the party in some ways, or they're late to the market, but they've been racing electric hybrid cars at Le Mans for years and years. And I even spoke to Mark Webber a few weeks back about this car prior to doing the launch on it.
Oh, your name dropper.
A big name dropper. He's a good name to drop, but he's Mr. Porsche these days, and told me a lot of the synergies between the Taycan and the Porsches that he was racing at Le Mans.
Yeah.
they've learned a lot. So they've learned a lot through R&D at a racetrack, whereas Tesla's not been able to do that. And I think that will be reflected in the DNA of this car.
And that's where the repeatabilities come from. Learning lessons at 24 hours around Le Mans. And that's why you can do 50 launch controls in a row and they will be identical. If you're enjoying our videos, it would really help us if you'd click the like button or leave a comment, or even better, subscribe and smash that bell. That would really help us with the channel. And if you want to know more about the Taycan, go and talk with the friendly people down at Porsche Centre Willoughby, who very kindly lent us this car to play with. Righto, launch control, Sport Plus, and 0 to 100, and
There we are. Does it quick, doesn't it?
yeah,
That's a party trick.
yeah.
Probably not to be done at a set of red traffic lights as they go green, I don't think. I think you find yourself in all sorts of trouble.
No.
When would you do it?
Your wife,
Pressing your mates.
kids, the guy next door who annoyed the hell out of you years ago when you first got a Boxster, and they said, oh, why didn't you get a real car? Why didn't you get a 911?
Yeah.
But he's never been in either.
Yeah.
That guy. And when you bring your Ford,
The lane departure warnings are a little obtrusive in some ways.
you want me to turn that off?
Yeah, I'd be turning it off. I really think if you're paying attention as a driver, you don't really need those, or blind spot warnings for that matter, if you're watching what you're doing. But
Lane keep assist off.
Yep.
Active lane keeping off. Lane change assist off. You're totally on your own with
There we
lanes
go.
now.
How did we ever do it before?
What colour ambient lighting would you like? Orange or topaz blue or Atlantis? It's lemon green. I'm going lemon green.
Lemon green?
Yeah.
It's very interesting on the smooth roads that we were on there a little while ago where we were just pushing on a bit. You'd expect to feel a little bit in here, a little bit of tire squeal, a little bit of understeer. There was no sliding from the car whatsoever, was there? Like, there was not a hint of understeer, not a hint of push.
The world's just changed. This is.
Yeah.
I just now have to reevaluate completely everything that I thought was a performance car.
Yeah.
Even the Aston Martin V12 that we drove last week is suddenly feeling very like a collectible classic.
Yeah. These things are just, they hose pretty much every car that's out there, don't they?
Yeah.
And of course, we've got a 2-speed transmission at the back of this car as well.
So it doesn't tail off at the top end.
It just doesn't tail off, it just grabs another gear.
Yeah, but you don't notice it. Have you felt the gear changes at all?
It's very hard to feel. I think you would feel it on the track.
It's between about 90 and 110 k's an hour. It does this smooth shift.
It's very, very smooth.
Yeah. 1 speed on the front wheels, 2 speed on the back. So obviously it's got to match it very well, otherwise you'd get an imbalance. Yeah. Right. Okay, very quick word about turbos. Turbos are a thing. Porsche was right at the forefront. The first Porsche Turbo was the poster car on my bedroom wall. We're going to review an early 911 Turbo, aren't we, at some stage? We'll try and survive the experience. A lot of people didn't, because they had cast iron brakes and a single turbo that came on with a big wallop and frightened people. They immediately jumped off the throttle and the car would turn around and exit backwards into the Schwarzwald. However, I diverge. The word turbo means generally the car has a turbo. It's something about the size of a grapefruit or smaller, and it makes cars go fast. Porsche really has a very complicated relationship with turbo, but now they've started calling cars turbos, like this one, that don't have a turbo. Whereas almost everything other in their 57 models that they're selling at the moment has twin turbos. And most of them don't say turbo. They've changed the meaning of the word from a thing to something that goes fast.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Not just necessarily an
I
item.
resent it because I own a Porsche Turbo,
Yeah, well, yeah.
and it's got 2 big Porsche Turbos
You
on
paid
it.
for the turbos.
I did.
This is all integrated really nicely, and
Yeah.
I like screens to be integrated into the vehicle design,
Yeah.
not just stuck on.
It's
Fit the
beautiful.
car very well.
Here are the scores down the side of the screen. You can see it's exemplary. The only killer is the price. In every other way, it's up there.
One of the things we set out to find out with our drive today, Stu, was does this car feel like a Porsche? Is it still a Porsche? Is it worthy of the badge that's on the bonnet? I think definitely. It's not just an EV gadget, it is a driver's car. So if you're thinking of buying one, so you're looking at one and you're a little concerned about, does it have all those Porsche characteristics that I really like and I'm used to? Well, absolutely it does. Buy one. I would have this car, and I'm becoming converted to EVs, and it's taken this car to do it for me, I think.
Wow.
And
That's a big call.
It's a big call, isn't it?
I can do without the funny noise, to be honest. The striking thing about this car is not the way it sucks the horizon through the windscreen. It's the incredible ride, grip and handling, all at the same time. They have thrown everything in their bag of tricks into making this a great handling luxury saloon. A car that weighs 2,300 kilos, as much as a Toyota Prado, has no right to go around corners like this thing does. You have to experience it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. In a word, outstanding. Just outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, I know, and you've got a Rex behind.
It'd be very tempting too, wouldn't it?
To overtake on double yellows in an 80 zone.
Yeah, with a school zone just
Double
down here.
lines.